Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today it's a Monday, so we're back on RaphafofoGeography, and today we're going to be taking a look at a scenario where Paraguay forms an empire. So if you're new to this is a series where I spin a wheel, and it's called the Empire series, and this wheel has the name of every country in the world, and once it lands on that country is gonna form an empire. So today it is Paraguay. So Paraguay is gonna be forming an empire. So the first thing that happens today is something happening near Paraguay's old pal, Uruguay. Paraguay funds a really bad government group that overthrows the normal, stable government of Uruguay, potentially ruining politics for Uruguay for like 50 years. But they don't care because they just want to form their empire and get strong. Poor Paraguay, guys. So Paraguay supplies the Uruguayan authoritarian regime, like a far left regime in Uruguay, and let's just ignore Paraguay for now. This is the normal Uruguay, and its capital is over here in Montevideo. I almost forgot it. Oh my god. So this rebel group, it's gonna form in 3 separate places. First, obviously the capital, Montevideo. It's gonna try to gain popularity, but after a couple weeks it gets shut down, and like the people get sentenced to like life in prison and stuff. Betrayal. And the 2 following times are gonna work. One rebel group that happens over here in the northwest, and it's gonna gain popularity pretty quickly. The Argentinians see them and push them like far from their borders, but they can expand near the Brazilian side and a little bit more discreetly near the Argentinian side. And Brazil and Argentina are making mistakes not pushing them out. Anyway, secondly, it's also gonna pop up here near the coast. This is one same group as well. So this is one group. This is group A, like rebel group A, and this here is rebel group B, okay? And rebel group B is forming in 2 separate areas, and it's growing, and their goal is to like link up and like get all of Uruguay by themselves. But anyway, I'm gonna color them the same color because they're both getting funded by the same country and they have the same goals. So they finally meet up and connect, and then they start sharing their ideals around, and it's like a pretty big civil war. The Uruguayan National Guard are like pushing them out and like fighting with them. There's a lot of gunfire, especially in this stable country like Uruguay, but of course not every country in Latin America is the Switzerland, so unfortunately that's not what happens for Uruguay. And like it only gets stronger after each time that Uruguay puts them down. And then another one is gonna form near the capital again, and the government is gonna like shoot it down, but there's gonna be a little bit staying, and guys, keep that in your mind, but it's not gonna do anything for now. Anyway, these groups in the north are going to push forward more than they did before, and they're gonna start like closing the border between them and Brazil. When Brazil see that the trade gets different between them and Uruguay, Brazil are like, okay, dude, no, you can't do that. This is literally my border with my neighbor, and you guys can't do this. And this rebel group, it's like, oh my gosh, no, another country is stepping up, trying to cancel us, but we just connected. Like, dude, we're already getting shut down by an outside country. So they tell Brazil, okay, Brazil, listen, we're gonna start doing trade with you because we plan on taking all of Uruguay for us. We represent Uruguay now, and we're like in an official civil war, and we're gonna take over Uruguay. Brazil don't want to be like, they can't be like, we're gonna invade Uruguay and take it for ourselves. So this, as I told you guys, this and this as well, these are both far left groups, and sadly Brazil's president, a convicted felon, is a far left guy, and he's not into good stuff. And so Brazil now have to make a choice. Do we support Uruguay or do we support this group? And they're gonna be like, you know what, we're gonna support this group. They have like mostly the same goals as us because this president is horrible. As I told you, Brazil's president Lula has the same far left, really bad ideals as this red one. And so Brazil is gonna support it. That's the reason why they're gonna lose land soon, but that's just a spoiler alert. So Uruguay starts losing more and more ground to their rebel group, their far left evil rebel group that like pushes and it's trying to get the Rio Grande, which I believe is this. If it's not, then excuse me, I'm not currently learning about this. I'm more focused on Africa that I know nothing about. So yeah, I mean, now I know some stuff, but I did not know stuff, so I'm more focused on Africa. I did South America a long time ago, which I will retouch soon. I will. Anyway, this rebel group does not get the support of the smart Uruguayan people, but they are turning the place socialist and communist, and people there are like not liking it. Lula, the president of Brazil, I think that's his goals too. There are some areas where it's easier to go in, so that's why they have the little spear, the little lines here, like here, and here. Oh, and here, of course. So that's why there's like little pointy bits. Oh, and of course here, yeah. And they start getting near the river, and Argentina don't like this, so they step in as like the purple, and they push them all out from their border. Like they get into Uruguayan territory, and Uruguay thanks them because it's kind of helping them, and they temporarily hold on to this land until Uruguay can get back on their feet. Now, Brazil warns Argentina to stop because they should be neutral and they shouldn't support nor party, because if one wins, and if you pick the one that's not gonna win, then you're done for. And Brazil thinks it's the red one, and they don't want Argentina to support the blue one. So they told Argentina to stop, and Argentina are gonna be like, okay, we're gonna cease fire. I'm gonna keep this area because I do support more the blue than the red, so they're gonna keep that and they're gonna stop. There's no shooting, there's no active gunshot between Argentina and the Uruguayan rebel. It's just that they're holding on to this territory and they're gonna give it to the winner as a gift, you know? And like the blue Uruguay is like, what the hell? Like, I've just been abandoned like this. Anyway, more fighting happens and a big encirclement full of Uruguayan troops is made here in the southeast, and the red rebel captures it and surrounds it, and they slowly kill every single soldier that is packed into this area, and it narrows it down, splits into 2, splits into 3, and they all die alone. So this is the parasite that's growing into Uruguay. The purple area is occupied by Argentina, protecting it. The red area is like the self-declared beginning of the new Uruguayan state that's slowly growing. And there's also this place near Montevideo, and this light red is the part that they've invaded. Fast forward, another big surrounding happens over here, and it's cut off, and Uruguay lose again, and they're making some really bad losses today, which is not that good for them. They try to ceasefire with the rebel and like split the country into 2, but the rebel is like, no. So another big encirclement is made here, another one here, another one here, another one here, and another one here. They try to have one here, but Uruguay is like, you know what? No. So then they push them back, and then they free this one, and like this area is pretty well protected by Uruguay. But these 4 little patches of land are getting decimated by the rebel. Another big encirclement happens over here, like something like this happens, like it's never happened, and then another thing here pops up, like it's really weird, and Uruguay are like, okay, we're struggling to pass by, then this gets cut off, and then this, and then this. and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. Another encirclement is made here, and Uruguay are feeling really weak. A lot more pushes are happening. The people are feeling really mad. They try to solve this peacefully, like people from Uruguay, but it does not happen. And after a long moment and a big encirclement, Uruguay is only narrowed down to this. El Nuevo Uruguay, also known as the Rebel or New Uruguay, now decide to set their border at this. And now poor original Uruguay are getting invaded from all sides. And Montevideo is finally captured by this capital rebel, which was a good option to pick to supply. And more is pushed, and when Uruguay gets narrowed down to this, Argentina decide to transfer this plot of land down to El Nuevo Uruguay, the new Uruguay. And if you're wondering why I speak Spanish, it's just that I'm Brazilian. I was born in here, specifically here, somewhere around here, São Paulo. And yeah, I speak Spanish because everyone who speaks Portuguese can learn Spanish in less than a week. Literally, like seriously, guys. And after one more week of fighting, Uruguay gets decimated by the rebel and surrender to it. Peace treaty, the new horrible regime is elected, I guess. And if you guys are wondering why I just rambled so much for a little regime change in an exterior country, it's because Paraguay are gonna offer to go save the regime. So Argentina agreed because they hate this new Uruguay because they have right morals and their president is incredible as of today in 2024. So Argentina, a very strong ally of Paraguay and a party that strongly dislikes the regime that Paraguay funded in Uruguay, but no one knows that Paraguay funded it, decided to cede some military access to Paraguay to travel across this territory freely with its military and literally anything to free Uruguay from its bad regime. The prize they'll get to control everything. They'll get to do whatever they want with Uruguay. So Argentina indirectly joined this war against Uruguay, New Uruguay. It's like the US. They're technically, no, I don't want to say anything, but like they're technically a NATO, like all of NATO. They're technically like very close with Ukraine. I am eliminating a couple NATO countries such as like Poland or Hungary or Turkey or Serbia who are not showing signs of helping Ukraine, at least anymore. But the US like kind of are in this war with Ukraine, although they're not because they're not sending men. But it's better to have the red color for Argentina anyway. Now let's look at the stacking of troops. So all troops are scattered around Paraguay, and they're gonna start making their way outward from the country into the Argentinian area. Argentina just gave them this area, so it's like easier for the troops that are here to go there. So this area gets depleted of invasion troops pretty quickly, with them all going down here towards the southern area. So all invading troops start exiting this area. So when it's like bright red, it means invasion troops are in there. So the invasion troops now start making their way south and hit Uruguay's border, although they're like a couple kilometers away so that you couldn't see them over here too. And the troops start seeing a heavy flow into this area, seeing less and less popularity for troops. Like the troops are forced to leave these areas, and they're all stacked up in here near the border with Uruguay. It's all like this now until they're all over here. And I guess Argentina allowed them like to land in Montevideo, and like the Uruguayans are like, bro, weren't we buddies like a month ago? Like, what are you doing, right? I'm gonna have this area colored as the invading because this is not at war. Like, this is not at war. And so as it's like this, the capital gets like captured captured. And this takes longer than it appears, but it's swifter than the actual civil war. And New Uruguay refused to surrender in any way until they lose their coast and they look like this. So they surrender. And in this peace treaty, Paraguay actually decide to fully annex Uruguay into their territory. Weird for people, but for us, we know what's happening. And the thing is, the people in Uruguay aren't mad. They're happier that their old regime finally left, and they get a degree of autonomy within Paraguay. But something happens. The troops from Paraguay literally just stayed in this area, and they populated it. And people there are starting to get more and more Paraguayan and Uruguayan, and less Argentinian. And Argentina are like, no, we literally gave you this territory, so like get out. And the treaty did not expire yet. They didn't do like until the war's over. They did for like 25 years. So the thing that's gonna happen, guys, is an all-out war between old allies, aka Argentina and Paraguay. So pretty fast, Argentina gets to reclaim a big chunk of territory because it was very poorly monitored and lined up. And they start pushing into this territory to try to claim it all back. And big ol' Argentina are feeling that this is not gonna work because the troops are pushing very strongly, and the people from Paraguay are actually very patriotic and they love their country apparently. And Argentina are trying their best to find military strategies to push out, but they actually can't. And Paraguayan and Uruguayan troops managed to capture their capital of Buenos Aires, and after the capital is captured, Argentina thinks, well, this has gone too far, let's sign peace. And so they do, and Paraguay accept that. And in this peace treaty, Paraguay looks really weird. It looks like it's holding, like it's high-fiving its friend Uruguay, and Argentina looks like it got a really bad haircut. But I kind of wanted the panhandle to stick out a little bit, so yeah. And also, Argentina lost its border with Brazil. So Brazil lost two borders, like it lost access to two countries because of Paraguay. I mean, like, this is Paraguay, but it's also Uruguay, and this is Argentina that they lost access to. And let me specify that Paraguay is literally like 50 kilometers away from Buenos Aires, so they could literally like destroy Argentina whenever they want. So yeah, the next thing that's gonna happen is Paraguay picking a fight with Bolivia. Paraguay go to the UN and they like start annoying Bolivia about the fact that they have two capitals. Although I hate Bolivia, this is not a way to pick a fight, bro. But they start annoying Bolivia and like say, why do you have two capitals, buddy? And Bolivia are like, what's your problem? You have a problem? And Paraguay are like, yeah, kind of. Where are we gonna like talk to your representatives? Although Bolivia have all this figured out, Paraguay are like, no. And they randomly say that Bolivia is being aggressive and drag them into a war. And Paraguay's goal is to capture and annex the city and capital of Bolivia, Sucre. Here it is, and Paraguay won it for themselves. Will they get it? Stick to find out. Obviously they will. It's an Empire video, guys. What did you think? So after like some swift invading into Bolivian territory, I mean, there is the capital of La Paz that is here, but it's too far, and they just want to capture a capital. And Bolivia are like, why do we have to throw hands because of this incident, bro? And they don't care. They're like, Bolivia, you're aggressive. And then they start a huge spearhead and capture Sucre. Bolivia are like, ain't no way. Okay, they surrender and they sign peace with Paraguay. Let's take a look at this treaty. And in this peace treaty, Paraguay wanted to have some really funny looking hair, also known as access to Sucre, and Bolivia are like flipped off in this. So then Paraguay goes on their last conquest. You guys guess what it is. Here are the three options. A, they get some states south of Brazil and they actually win the war and they annex some states here in the south. 2, they go after Argentina and get like all of this for themselves, as well as some islands over here in the south, and as well as Buenos Aires, and control them as a puppet country. 3, invade all of this to get like a long part of Chile and and like all of this actually, and like yeah, like all of this, and become like the two seas, two oceans strong country that was once landlocked. Or lastly, finish invading the rest of Bolivia. Here are the 4 options. So one option was very pathetic, the Bolivian one. No. If you thought it was the purple one, the Bolivia one, then you fail. Second option, the Argentina one. Did you actually think that Paraguay was gonna like get all of this and like make Argentina their puppet? You obviously not. And now it's between these two. This would be a really good idea to capture like both coasts and like be a super lord, but unfortunately we're gonna pick the Brazilian one, where they invade a couple states over here in the south, and Brazil are not gonna like want to look bad in the public figure. And apparently Paraguay, as the buffed empire, it has a much bigger military than Brazil and a lot of active duty personnel, and they've trained so much, and Brazil never thought it was going to be against them, so they didn't prepare, but they failed. And Bolivia have like quadruple the size of Brazil, and they are ready to invade. Brazil are done for. So I don't know all the Brazilian states yet, but I'm planning to learn with you guys here on RaphafofoGeography. Let's do some more geography quizzes. I'm down. And I learned it like a couple years ago, but I forgot obviously. So I just saw this. As you guys can see, here is the state of Rio Grande do Sul. It means South Big River. Grande means big, I guess Grand South River. And it is good. It is big. And I don't think that Mato Grosso do Sul is gonna be good for Paraguay to invade. Paraná as well, or Santa Catarina. I think it's Rio Grande do Sul, or Rio Grande do Sul and Santa Catarina, but I think it's just gonna be Rio Grande do Sul, guys. And they start, and they are really strong, and Brazil thought they could take this on super easily, but they actually can't. And poor Brazil is getting literally destroyed. And once they have this, Paraguay's leader, Santiago Peña, meets with Lula here in Brasilia, and they both agree to be in good terms if Lula cedes Rio Grande do Sul and Santa Catarina into Paraguay. Well, in real life, they would really battle for it, but this is a hypothetical scenario. No one's getting offended, right, guys? But it ends up as this. It kind of looks like a boot, doesn't it? It's weird. Okay, anyway, let's draw Paraguay's flag from memory, guys. But first, let's take a look at the different subdivisions in this big country. Let's check out these subdivisions for Paraguay. So over here, there is the state of Bolivia, and this is like a separate state, but it's also like district, I guess. It's also the capital of the state of Bolivia. It's the state of Sucre. This over here is the state of North Argentina, because these are the territories they have acquired in the north from Argentina. This is the federal district, housing the capital, Asunción. Here is mainland, like Paraguay proper, and the federal district of Asunción is the capital of literally this entire thing, but it's also more the capital of this entire thing, and this entire thing as well, but more this one. Anyway, this is the state of East Argentina. These are the territories they acquired in the east of Argentina. This is the state of Santa Catarina with a Spanish accent. This is the state of Rio Grande del Sur instead of Rio Grande do Sul. It's all Spanish-ified, like Portuguese is banned, I guess. I don't know anything. This is the state of Uruguay, and these are the state of Western New Uruguay, Northern New Uruguay, and Eastern New Uruguay. New Uruguay, like El Nuevo Uruguay, from like the rebel of the beginning. And this is the state of Montevideo, or also known as South New Uruguay, because it also happened over there. And it's also kind of the capital of all of these 4 states with it combined. So it's the capital of these 5. Yeah, now let's do the flag. Okay guys, I have done it. I should stop saying that I do it from memory, because I do copy the logos from Google and stuff, but I do know the flags, obviously. Anyways guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I love you all so much, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!